evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about Lyleen Noct. Now, very similar to Lyleen, when activated, the Queen's Soothing Grace greatly restores the player's health. We've already done maxing out, as we had seen before with Lyleen. It should be the same, so we'll test it real quick. Yep, 2,000 health. So her healing is the same, so we're going to be testing her combat capabilities. As far as base POW stuff, I mean, she's a medicine 3 starting out, so that's not bad. A lot of people were saying, like, if you wanted her to work at night, but she sleeps at night. I don't know why. She's a dark POW that sleeps at night. There's a couple of them like that. So as far as base POW stuff, I'm going to go ahead and rule her out over Lyleen. Lyleen's going to be better than Lyleen Noct for base POW stuff 100 times over, just because she has planting and medicine and gathering and handiwork. And now with the monitoring stand implementing what they were talking about earlier, which is fantastic, more or less you can pick and choose what you want certain POWs to do, which is great. So this eliminates her from the pool. And even with that, I probably wouldn't be choosing her over a Fellbat as far as base POW stuff, because they both have the exact same medicine type. Fellbat, though, has specifically just medicine. So that's where they differ. And she's pretty high up onto the board. She is at level 49 up in the snow. To get her, it's definitely going to be easier to breed for her rather than not. So we're going to test her combat capabilities, but we're going to throw her straight up into a very difficult scenario, and I'm going to see if she can actually solo both Paldius and Necromus. For abilities, we're running Nightmare Ball, Dark Laser, and Dragon Meteor. And in comparison to Lyleen, as far as the attack power is literally identical. 1297 on the Lyleen Noct's at 1297. We're going to boost her up with some souls and also back her with some Hooker Teas. Her being backed with 4 Hooker Teas is 1907, and now we're going to put some souls into her. After we got the souls into her, we're hitting at 2,477 attack, 1,071 defense, and 6,668 health. The way that I got this in particular Lyleen Noct is that I bred the Lyleen that I had bred for this, which was with Pinta, whatever her name is, and Masanda. And then we bred the Lyleen that we got from that with a Metasting that I had. I think it was this one. No, it was this one. A Metasting that I had that from previous breedings that we ended up putting Legend on, or we were breeding our higher end one, and I decided to keep one that had just Legend on it because it was going to be easier with breeding purposes. So that ended up coming in handy for saving that one. As far as her IVs go, she's at 94 out of 100 with health, 99 out of 100 for attack, and 70 to 71 out of 100. This in particular calculator that I'm using, which I've tried it on 3 different ones, for some reason isn't registering Burly Body correctly. And when I put Burly Body on the calculator, then it puts it at a 7 out of 100. So I do not think that that is the case. So yeah, really good attack IVs, very good health IVs. And we're going to 4-stack her with Hooker Teas and send her out solo against these 2. And I am going to make the large journey that it is on foot. We're also going to feed her some food. Now we're sitting at 2,973, so right at 3,000. We might have to feed her by the time that we get over there, because it is a long journey, but this is very unrealistic. Alrighty, after a very long journey on foot, we're here. Hopefully this wasn't for nothing. I do not know why you guys want to come after me. I needed her to heal me, and she didn't. I didn't even attack them, and they started to attack me. All right, well, we're going to have to drop a Hooker Teas, because I am not making that journey again. With the Hooker Teas drop, we're at 1735, so not that big of a drop. We lost about 300. Well, regardless of not wanting to help her, I'm going to have to help her, because Necromus wants a piece of me. All right, we're gonna have to tag in Jet Ragging. Yep, tag in Jet Ragging. Boom. With a bit of assistance from Jetragon and myself, we only had like 9 rockets, so may have been even less than that. Can't remember what I started out with. I think it was 9. But yeah, with a little bit of assistance from me and Jetragon, yeah, not too shabby. So in conclusion, is Lyleen Noct worth it? I mean, as far as damage goes, she's on par with the Lyleen. Going against Paldius and Necromus is kind of a real good torture test, especially for something that is not really known for combat that much. Dark is just a really strong element in general. Even with that, Lyleen did incredible damage against Frostallion and soloed her entirely. We were dealing with 2 attackers at that point, so it's a bit one-sided at that point. Like I said, with the assistance of old Jetragon and myself, managed to kill both of them with little to no problem. But is she worth it to max out and everything? This really depends on how you are playing. If you have a Lyleen, what you need to get to the Lyleen Noct, then I would suggest not really. But Lyleen is a grass type, so she's weak to fire. So the Lyleen Noct could be an alternative to go after those fire pals if you really wanted to use that. Dark isn't strong against fire, but it's at least neutral to it, and it won't be doing an increased amount of damage to her. In my personal opinion, I don't think that she is, because she's on par with Lyleen, and you can use Lyleen the same way for combat status, and their healing is identical. So it's a matter of just what you really want to run, if you want to run a grass type or if you want to run a dark type. And also to bring up that with the Lyleen, we did use the elemental damage stacking by getting quadruple damage on the Frostallion. So there was that. So yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you guys as far as whether it's worth it or not. In my opinion, though, personally, it's not, because they're identical. The only difference is one's dark and one's grass. Also, we are in the process of getting ready for the raid battle. I have decided that instead of going with the Frostallion or Jetragons and building them out to their max, what I'm going to do is include the vast majority of what I have that's already built up, but then also we're going to be building up a team of Quiverins. The way that I'm going to set them up: Divine Dragon, Legend, Musclehead, and Ferocious. And the reason being is if I can do it the right way and get quite a few of them up in super high damage, then we can really do some work, because not only does the Divine Dragon enhance the dragon attacks, but Quiverin itself enhances dragon attacks as well. So if we do a bunch of Quiverin with a bunch of dragon attacks with Divine Dragon on them, it's going to be running about like the Shadow Beak does, where even though it is a considerable lower damage compared to my Frostallion Noct, with Lord of the Underworld and the Divine Disaster, it's a huge attack and does a lot of damage. So I'm kind of thinking under those principles as well. I mean, we will have the Frostallions, 1 or 2 Frostallions, and then the Frostallion Nocts as well, and we're probably just going to deck them out with a bunch of dragon attacks as well. Of course, we might just keep dark attacks on them, because then it's kind of a neutral type deal, but Divine Disaster is just a really hard hitting thing. So regardless, the main goal right now is to get up a bunch of Quiverin, because of the enhancement to dragon attacks, and Divine Dragon on top of that will then increase that even further. Because here's the thing, is that I haven't tested really my Lord of the Underworld, because she also enhances dark attacks as well. But with my powered one, where it's kind of a jack of all trades, is sitting at a higher attack power, actually does less damage than my Shadow Beak, even though that the damage is less by about almost 500 points. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now. So I will be streaming this weekend. We'll try to see if we can put a video together, but the update should be dropping for Xbox either today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But when it does, I am going to be, for the most part, ready. Other than that, if you guys liked the video, drop a like. If you guys like my content, drop a sub, and leave a comment down below on whether you think Lyleen Noct versus Lyleen. Which one would your choice be? Other than that, keep your willy washed, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.